Man, so much happened this weekend. I feel like my head's going to explode, man. I really, really, really feel overwhelmed, even at this point in the afternoon. At one point last night, I was like this, shaking. Everything between House of Glory being assaulted by Sami Callihan, which I will be talking about in a little bit. Enzo Amore being announced for House of Glory High Intensity 7. SummerSlam weekend. CM Punk fighting at UFC 225 in Chicago. And then obviously what everybody's calling, or at least everybody that I've spoken to, is calling the greatest match of all time between Kenny Omega and Kazuchika Okada at New Japan Dominion, which I have not watched yet. I can't tell you how many people have reached out to me. Are you going to cover it? You're going to talk about it? You're going to review it? I talked about it in Friday's show. So if you didn't watch Friday's show, clearly it went woo over your head. Talked about it. I will cover it when I get to it. New Japan is not my priority. I didn't even get to watch the CM Punk fight last night. Going to be talking about all these situations, but I want to concentrate on the CM Punk situation last night. It doesn't even have anything to do with his fight because, like I said, I didn't even watch the fight. I didn't watch the fight. I kept up with the fight on social media. I kept up with the fight through my friends who watched the fight, who called me, who told me about the fight, how it went, how he looked, how disgusted they were, how they wish he'd never come back, how they hope it's over for him. I wish Corey Graves had a little bit more common sense. And I wish Corey Graves was a little bit more man to talk about personal shit over the phone or in person or when the time is right. Not when your so-called good friend loses and the headlines via social media, via Bleacher Report, and everybody else covering the fight was ex-WWE star loses his second UFC fight in embarrassing fashion. What a piss-poor job by Corey Graves, man. To point out everything that he feels is wrong with CM Punk at that moment. That's the one thing that I honed in on. I barely read anything the guy was tweeting when he was tweeting it. I'm like, I got the gist of what he's saying, but my God, could you have picked any worse of a time to talk about CM Punk? You could have talked about him in May, in April, in March, when the fucking guy was training. You could have talked about him the day after the verdict was dropped with the WWE lawsuit against Dr. Chris Amon. You had to pick that time to talk about CM Punk after he lost his fight? When he's already got a bunch of shit going through his head? He's got to hear bullshit from you? I lost a lot of respect for Corey Graves last night, man. I don't know whether he was drunk or he's just a fucking blithering idiot. I really don't know. Guy was tweeting up a storm at 4 a.m. Was it one of his drunken binges again? The comments to this guy were fucking unbelievable. I'd hide my head in the sand if I read all the hateful shit that this guy was getting. Corey Graves trying to remain relevant. Corey Graves bringing Kenny Omega for whatever fucking ungodly reason into the conversation. Mentions Kenny Omega for what? Calling everybody a smart mark. They don't know what's going on. I think more people know what's going on than he leads on. But my God, what a piss poor judgment call on Corey Graves, man. Shit like that could really land yourself in the doghouse, especially with WWE. I didn't watch the fight. I'm sure I'll watch highlights of it, or I'll find it somewhere, and I'll talk about it another day. At this point, I don't even care to watch the fight. He lost, he lost. It is what it is. Is he coming back to wrestling? Who the fuck cares? Really, who cares? If he comes back, he comes back. It's great for everybody. I'm sure everyone is going to be a fucking hypocrite and welcome him back with open arms. I'm sure of it. Vince is going to welcome him back. I'm sure Vince would drop his fucking pants to have CM Punk back in the WWE right now. You cannot hate someone that much to never employ them again. I didn't watch the fight. I don't know how he fought. I don't know what happened in the match. I don't even know if he looked better than his first time. I'm assuming he would have. And I'm going to assume that he did much better than he did against Gall. Because I was watching the fight with my friend Sean. And I was incredibly disappointed with how it ended. But the one thing I want to point out, I'm not even going to go into should Punk fight again? Should he be in wrestling? All these detractors and haters from CM Punk. You know, people talk a lot of fucking shit, and they don't know the struggle in which the guy has put himself through to get where he is today. Can he be fucking happy? Can you let the guy live his life? Everybody's talking shit about how, Punk is an embarrassment. Oh, Punk tried and he failed. He didn't fail to anyone. The people who say he failed, they are the people who've never taken a punch in their entire fucking life and would never step into the octagon to look exactly how Punk looked after that fucking fight. The balls on people to criticize the man for doing something that he had aspirations to do for all these years. He did it with pride, he did it to the best of his ability, and it didn't work out. I don't deem that a failure. He took a fucking chance on himself, and it didn't work out. That's life. I took a chance on myself by doing this shit full time. It worked out. I love how people criticize when they wouldn't dare do what he did. You couldn't pay me all the money in the world to fucking go through the training. I know I couldn't. I know in myself I could not do what he did. That takes so much out of a human being to train 3 times a day. God knows how many hours he put into it. To be away from his wife. Got up and relocated to be closer to the facility in which he was training in. Then he's got to get roasted on social media because, he embarrassed himself. I don't find CM Punk to be an embarrassment whatsoever. In fact, I think more people should be like fucking CM Punk. And if I have an opportunity to meet CM Punk at his meet and greet, which I hope I do, I'm going to tell him exactly how much of an inspiration and an influence he is. I'm sure he fucking hears it all the time. He is to not only me, but everybody who has taken a chance on themselves and didn't give a fuck about the consequences. You know, Corey Graves, that was a dick-like move, man. It really was. That was a low blow, not literally, but a social media, internet version of a low blow. This guy could have tweeted about CM Punk any fucking day of the week. You hear CM Punk chants every fucking event. When WWE fans don't like something, you could have brought this to everybody's attention on social media any day you wanted. You had to pick last night. Last night at 1 a.m. you had to pick the time to talk about your ex-best friend. Going on and on and on about how he was the first man to hold his newborn son because he couldn't be there. How he turned his back on WWE, how he was not loyal to the company. He walked away from the people and the business that made him. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Graves. I'm sure that you were paying attention to the fucking lawsuit that happened and how Mr. Amon neglected CM Punk and could have actually fucking killed the man. The WWE turned their back on Punk. The WWE turned their back on Punk. Punk didn't turn his back on WWE. This guy clearly must have been fucking drunk. Refusing proper medical attention. Nobody wanted to fucking see that this guy was okay. Guy was in a fucking miserable place. All the stories that I heard. How Punk wanted to be at the forefront of WWE studio films, and they chose guys like Randy Orton and Triple H over him. All I ever heard was his desire to main event WrestleMania, and he never got one. Was he not good enough? Or was it political bullshit that drove him away? Year after year after year of that beating on your fucking conscience and your body, why would you want to stay? How would you feel if WWE gave you the keys to the kingdom for 434 days and then your title reign is ended by a guy who's not even there, only to drop it to John Cena? That was WWE's first chance at getting CM Punk at WrestleMania in the main event. They failed that and dropped the ball and failed Phil Brooks then. Then the Royal Rumble comes. He's eliminated by someone who's not even in the fucking match. Gets a concussion along the way. Neglected. He should have won the Royal Rumble that year, and we should have got Punk and Bryan at WrestleMania. Twice you had an opportunity to put him at WrestleMania in the main event, and WWE didn't go through with it. Again, I reiterate, CM Punk is somebody we should all admire. Because the guy believes in himself so much that he walked away from a multi-billion-dollar company. He walked away from safe money and a lifetime of earnings and just monetary value. He walked away from professional wrestling and all the money that could be made because he was unhappy. And someone's happiness is not worth all that trouble. Someone just wants to be happy. Let them be happy. There was no value that they could have paid him. None. All he wanted was happiness. His happiness was the most important thing in the world. And he walked away from everything that he dedicated his life to and to achieve for happiness. Guy got termination papers on his wedding day. Would you stay with your company if you got termination papers on your wedding day? They couldn't mail those termination papers any other time. They had to wait for when his wedding day was. Corey Graves had to tweet exactly what he did last night, 2 hours after he lost his second UFC fight. You know, all the hate that Phil Brooks is getting today, I think we should all go back and reassess what we're thinking. In fact, Phil Brooks should be admired for literally everything that he has done and everything that he's been put through. This is not because I'm a CM Punk fan, because CM Punk and the way he thinks and the way he acts is exactly how a lot of us wish to be. He did something that a lot of us wish we could do. He is the embodiment of what I am doing on this journey, on this road to building a business for myself. I gave up a job in which they were never going to let me go because they valued me so much. They needed me. I was the handyman at my old job. I did things that nobody else could do as good as me, efficient as me, and I was invaluable to them. I walked away. I walked away because I was unhappy. I was not in a good place. My diet was all fucked up. I couldn't sleep. All I wanted to do was lay my head on my pillow, wake up, and wish I didn't have to go back to work the next morning. That was the mentality I was in. Everywhere I worked, I felt the same fucking way. And all I dreamt about, all I wanted was to fucking walk away. I ruined an 8-year fucking relationship because of my greediness and my mindset. My mind wasn't right. And I needed to walk away to fix all of that. I needed to get myself right. And the fact that CM Punk walked away from something that he could have made into his entire life, being unhappy and being paid all the money he ever wanted, unhappy, he walked away, gave up all that just to make himself happy. And if we can't respect that, then you never were a fan of Punk, you never respected Punk, and you're a piece of shit. Corey Graves, I lost a lot of respect for Corey Graves. A lot of respect. And I've always sat here and held Corey Graves in high regard as being the best color commentator in this business because of the way he is, how quick-witted he is, his style, his look, his voice. I gave this guy praise big enough to where I said he reminds me of a modern-day Jesse Ventura and a modern-day Bobby the Brain Heenan. No longer do I think that. Am I going to listen to him every Monday and Tuesday night? Yeah. Am I going to enjoy what he does in the context of WWE? Yeah. Could he have made a better decision last night? Absolutely. You don't take your fucking personal business. You don't air your dirty laundry on social media. That's a fucking cowardly act. A cowardly act. You fucking call the guy, you leave a voice message, you leave a DM, something that he can hear or see away from the public eye. You don't go on social media and cry that he's not your friend anymore, that he walked away from the business. He says maybe abandoning everybody who stood by your side even when we weren't supposed to, only to have you turn your back on us wasn't the right move after all. No anger, only sadness. Seems the fans are disappointed. Maybe you guys should know that that dude held my first son before I did because I was on tour and I trusted him. I had dinner with him the week after he quit. The first rule of punk rock is loyalty, and this guy betrayed it all. I still love you, friend, and I'm sorry you lost. Don't worry, Vince McMahon. This has nothing to do with you. You either, Triple H. This isn't corporate. This is real life. Calm down, internet nerds. Someone replies to him, Dance Wet 86. So where's your loyalty? Not to your friend, who was clearly as unhappy as he ever was, but with your billion-dollar corporation bosses? Yeah, super punk rock, bro. Tell me about punk rock. So Corey Graves replies back, my loyalty? Oh, you would like the before or after? I've got both. I mean, one can only be shit on by their best friend for so long before they smarten up. No? But it's cool. I'm sure you love Kenny Omega and you know more about this business and friendship than I do. I don't know why Kenny Omega was brought into this. You know, I love how these guys lump internet nerds in with these smart Mark and fucking wrestling Mark comments. Well, we can't like Kenny Omega now. We gotta be a fucking internet smart Mark? Mr. Know-It-All? And someone else replies, 99.9% of the time, I don't care about what people say about my brothers and sisters because I know the truth. This guy, Lou D'Angeli, is actually an ex-WWE creative writer. LD Angeli on social media, on Twitter. 99.9% of the time, I don't care about what people say about my brothers and sisters because I know the truth. And the heart I have for them is unmatched. I'm so sad that Corey Graves is so uncomfortable and distraught in his life that he targeted CM Punk tonight. Corey Graves goes on another rant. Dude, I'm far from distraught. I'm in a good place. I just really am bummed that I had a true friend turn his back on me for no other reason than the company that employs him. Congrats, Walter, on missing the entire point. I suppose you need to find friends before you comprehend losing them to crappy means. Remember that time I was forced to retire due to concussions? Yeah, me either. But you have Twitter, so you're an expert at your job. Someone else replied to him. Law's disorder. Kind of like when you turn your back on your principles for the Saudi oil money. No anger, only sadness. Still waiting on that check, he says, Graves. Probably because I get a salary regardless of where they send me. But you read the internet, so you clearly know more than I do. Then he goes on. This is at 4 o'clock in the morning. This morning. Hey, at CM Punk, call me tomorrow. I still love you. Oh, and sorry, at Kenny Omega, for dropping your name in a negative manner. You're rad. Congrats on your new hardware with a kissy face emoji. Don't forget, y'all, I actually knew how to fight before I got to TV. Dude, I texted him no less than a dozen times. If you avoid truth long enough, you can write your own narrative, I guess. Then he's still tweeting at 4:35 a.m. I'll fight him. I don't understand. For Graves, it all boils down to the fact that he was snubbed by Punk after he had quit the WWE and supposedly lost him as a friend, especially since Graves was one who publicly showed respect to Punk following his first defeat in the UFC. This matter does seem quite personal, so it's no surprise as to why fans aren't pleased that Graves had to make it so public and continue to bash Punk for the world to see. If anything, Vince and Triple H might be laughing somewhere at this entire situation. You know, I'm going to say one thing here. Okay? I'm going to say one thing here. If you don't want to talk to a certain somebody after you walk away and they're still with the company that you want nothing to do with, that is in your right. You have every right not to talk to whomever you don't want to talk to. Simple as that. Corey Graves is acting like a fucking sissy priss because CM Punk wouldn't want to talk to him after walking away from the WWE. I heard stories that CM Punk told a lot of people that he's just going to go away, doesn't want anything to do with anybody since they are still employed with those people. That's how unhappy the man was. And the man wanted to go on and find happiness. Anything to do with that company. If he's still talking to people within that company, that is going to leave a negative effect on his life. He's going to look at you and automatically think of, oh, that place I used to work for that fucking treated me like shit. No matter how good these people were to him, he's going to always associate them with the people who treated him like shit, the company, the WWE. And Punk has every right to not talk to anybody. He wanted his dog, he wanted his wife, and that is it. I do not blame him at all, for not talking to anyone. It is a rarity when you work for a company that you keep in touch with anybody that used to work there or that still works there. I worked at Torno on 57th and Madison Avenue in New York City. I was with the company for 5 years. I had drinks. I had dinner. I was invited to people's homes to party with them. Do I talk to anybody from that company anymore? Would I want to associate with anyone in that company ever again after they treated me like shit? No. I worked for 2 jewelry stores after that. High-end jewelry stores. Again, same thing. Dinner. Events. Sharing personal stories. Do I talk to any of those people anymore? No. Would I? No. My last job. I only keep in touch, and it's not every day. Maybe every couple of months. Because they are actually genuinely good people. We reach out to one another. They check in on me. I check in on them. Hey, how you doing? You want to go grab a bite? You want to go out for a drink? You want to go do karaoke? Blah, blah, blah. We set things up, put the plans in motion, and we get together, and it's like we never left. Because they are genuinely good people. That's my choice to want to converse and see and hang out with them. To let them in my personal life. To let my guard down with them and share what I've been doing with them and vice versa. That's my choice. If Punk didn't want to do that with Corey Graves, tough shit. No matter how personal their relationship was, no matter the moments he shared with his son or not. It's not like if these guys ever cross paths again that they're not going to pick up right where they left off. They made an impact in each other's lives. That's not going to go away. But if he doesn't want to talk to you right now, for the simple fact that he wants to remain happy, and I don't know, maybe he had a fucking fight that he was concentrating on, and a career, and a new path in life that he wanted to put 100% into. And he didn't want any negative effect on that, because he was dealing with a fucking lawsuit, as it is. That's his choice. It's a rarity. If you ever work somewhere, a rarity. You have less than 1% chance to remain friends with these fucking people. I hear Jim Ross talk all the fucking time. How you never have any real friends in the wrestling industry. And that's coming from someone with the knowledge and the years traveled like Jim Ross. At the end of your career, this is exact verbatim from Jim Ross. At the end of your career, you would be lucky to count on one hand the friends you've made in this business. And if Punk wants to be fucking happy, then let him be happy. It's not your right, Graves. I don't give a fuck how you know him. It's not your right to fucking blast him on social media for doing what he thinks is best for his life. If he wanted to walk away and disassociate himself with everybody in that company, that's his fucking choice. It's also going to be his choice when he wants to come back and say, hey, let's grab a beer. If anybody should be doing the fucking apologizing here, it's Corey Graves. This rant was pathetic, embarrassing, and completely unnecessary. And I stand by everything I fucking said here. I don't want to mention his name, but I'm going to mention him anyway. Cronin and I worked. For the time that we worked, it was fun. I distanced myself because I didn't want to be in and around that group. I have no problem with Joe. I'm doing my own thing. If Joe finds success, I'm going to be happy for Joe. Joe doesn't talk to me. I don't talk to Joe. It's our choice to not talk to one another. But if Joe wants to come and talk to me, I'm going to be, hey man, how you doing? We don't have to work with each other. I walked away. It was my choice. It was Joe's choice to fucking throw me under the bus. That was his choice. I'm concentrating on my happiness, my business, and the things that I have coming up that are going to make me a better person and take me to where I want to be. But I don't have any ill will at this point towards Joe. If Joe finds success with his channel or gets a gig somewhere or comes across a lot of money somewhere, good for him. Good for him. I would never go on social media and blast Joe and talk about his family or what happened in the past. The past is behind us. I'm over everything. Corey Graves went about this the wrong fucking way. What a piss poor timing job on Corey Graves. Could have mentioned this at any other point. Any other point. And if he wanted to go that route, yes, any other point. But the right way to do things would have been to reach out and leave a voice message, a fucking text, a DM, a Facebook message. You know, there's other ways of reaching out to people without airing your dirty shit on social media. It's Punk's choice not to talk to anybody in that company. It was your choice to make yourself look like a fucking asshole on social media after the guy is probably feeling like shit. Then he wants to cover the fact of, I love you, call me. Fuck out of here, man. If I'm Phil Brooks, if I'm CM Punk, I ain't talking to fucking nobody. I'm talking to people when I want to talk to fucking people. Fucking hypocrites out there. Roasting CM Punk and fucking talking all this shit about CM Punk, you fucking dirt sheet writers typing away your fucking reports, clickbaiting the fucking shit out of it because CM Punk is the biggest topic of the weekend. Embarrassing effort by CM Punk. Let me see you get in the fucking octagon and take a goddamn fucking punch, you pussy. I wouldn't. You couldn't do what he did. And if you say you do, you're lying. You're full of shit. Those are my thoughts on Corey Graves and CM Punk. I stand by everything I said here because that's exactly how I feel. That's the path that I've taken for myself. I see myself when I look at CM Punk. That's why he's so fucking respected. And when he comes back to the WWE, because I still believe in my heart, one of these years, he's going to be back. Everybody's going to be dropping on their fucking knees, sucking this guy off as if he never fucking left. You talk about the savior of misbehavior? Oh, you misbehaved, motherfucker. But CM Punk is going to be the true savior of professional wrestling when he comes back to WWE. Because right now, he's the only individual outside of the elite that are going to move any type of needle in this business. Corey Graves should be the one apologizing, man. What a piss poor fucking job on him, on his behalf. Things could have been done a lot better. Those are my thoughts on CM Punk and Corey Graves. I got a lot of stuff to talk about, man. I barely have any news, but I'm going to try and make this podcast worth your while if I have not already done so yet up until this point. I'm going to address the Enzo Amore situations and him being employed for one night only at House of Glory High Intensity 7. I think people are overreacting, and I think a lot of people are, again, proclaiming to be hypocrites or are portraying themselves as hypocritical because of Enzo being employed after the rap songs that he released roasted wrestling fans, and here they are, House of Glory giving this guy a platform to work on. Oh, I'm gonna unleash the fucking truth on you people. If you don't like me or if you don't like what the fuck comes out of my mouth, go blow me somewhere. I don't give a fuck. I don't care today. I really don't care. I was assaulted by Sami Callihan last night. for no goddamn fucking reason. We're going to talk about everything. I got some minor news and notes. We'll go over them. This is episode 225, part number 3 of Off the Script for June 10th, 2018. Off this shitty fucking product by coming on here and speaking the fucking goddamn truth about this fucking filth.
I can book a better show taking a fucking dump after eating my fucking Chipotle chorizo with extra cheese.
I don't give a fuck what anybody has to say. Have I ever? Of course not.
WWE is great, man. Fuck you, Japan, and Kenny Omega, Okada. Delete! What is it, man? Can I suck your dick? What is it, man?
And this is the #1 fucking podcast.
Right here on YouTube.com! This
is Off the Script. Before I begin the podcast, man, I do want to make sure I get this out of the way, because if I don't do this now, I'm going to forget. And I'm already a couple of days late. I got an email and I got another personal message via social media. This one's from Sandy T. This one was sent to me on June 4th, 2018 at 2:14 p.m. Hi, JD. My name is Sandy T. Sorry for bothering you, but tomorrow, which would have been June 5th, it's June 10th now, but tomorrow is my boyfriend Chris's birthday, and it would mean the world to him if he could get a very special birthday shout out and also a follow on Twitter from his favorite YouTuber of all time, JD from NY206. Please and thanks again. I'm not sure if this is the same person that sent me a message via social media. It might very well be, but I'm going to read both of them just in case, because I want to make sure I have the right person. Let me see. I hope I didn't delete it. I hope I did not. Oh, here we go. I got it right here. This is from Anya. This may be two different people. I don't know. But either way, here's the other message. Hey, JD, I'm writing to you to ask you a favor. My boyfriend is a huge fan of yours. He's obviously big on wrestling and lives by your videos, literally, with a little emoji laughing face. He is always excited to hear your rants about everything wrestling, etc. His birthday is coming up, and I was wondering if you could please do a shout out for his birthday. Is that what they call it these days? I don't know. But I think it would be pretty cool to hear you mention him on whichever video you do that day. I can already imagine his reaction. I'm going to order one of your shirts too, so he can officially represent you. Did I mention he's from New York as well? And his birthday is Saturday the 16th of June. Please, please, please do this. His name is Kimi. K-E-M-Y. I hope I pronounced it right. I'm in another fucking world right now. Hope you can do this for me/him. Thank you. Well, it's not June 16th yet. And obviously these were two different people. So to Chris from Sandy T and to Anya to Kimi, I wish both of you a happy birthday. Chris, a happy belated birthday, and Kimi, a happy birthday coming up, courtesy here of me and Off the Script. I thank you guys for your support and everything you have done for me up until this point. I hope you guys continue to journey along with me, man, on this trek to 100,000 subscribers. I thank each and every one of you, man. And I want to thank everybody for coming up to me at the House of Glory show last night after the show was over, man. I love each and every one of you. Just too many to name, man. You guys are awesome. Again, I love every single one of you. You know, it means the world to me that you wait to just say what's up to me, and you know, it's quite humbling, man, that you guys think of me the way you do, because I'm just like you. I just love professional wrestling. And I want to thank my House of Glory family. I had one of my most favorite times last night. I put a lot of effort into making that show sound good from where I was sitting. Again, I want to thank Ben Venuto and my partner, Matthew Ryan Shapiro, even though he's a goon. I want to thank both of those guys, especially Matt. I learned a lot from him sitting next to him, and he is a very, very, very intelligent mind, and I learned a lot from him, and I always think back to what we did during the show, and I always take what we did and I apply it to the next show and what I could do better to better him and for him to better me and to make him happy and proud. I just love everything that comes with it, man. It's such a great, humbling learning experience. I want to thank Dean and Jason for their work and their hours and hours and hours and hours of making not only me, but the entire product look and sound fucking awesome. I want to thank Isaac, as always, for his loyalty and his support. Without him, I wouldn't even be there. Amazing Red and Brian for trusting me behind the microphone to do a great job and make everybody in that ring, proud and good, look good. And I want to thank the performers, man. They all brought it last night. They all brought it. I was assaulted by Sami Callihan last night. Unadvertised. No idea it was coming. I knew this guy's a fucking lunatic. Bashing Eddie Edwards with a fucking baseball bat. Crushing his orbital bone. Could have fucking killed the guy. Then he's calling out Chris Jericho, newly won IWGP Intercontinental Champion. Calls him out because he's not on the fucking cruise. Apparently it's supposed to be Impact versus whomever on there. Ring of Honor or whoever's on the cruise. I don't know who's advertised for it. But regardless, I could see why Chris Jericho didn't invite this fucking lunatic on to Jericho's cruise. But Sami Callihan won the House of Glory Crown Jewel Championship from Evander James last night. And I was very unhappy with it. I don't like when outsiders come in and take from our House of Glory talent. Sami Callihan disrespected me, and I did the best that I could in the most sarcastic fucking way possible to get back at him. And this guy, unsuspecting to me, I should have known better, shoved me off my commentary bench. I got fucking beer all over my shirt and my slacks. My phone got crushed. And then this guy's got the fucking balls to put his boot on my fucking face after making him look fucking good on commentary. If I can do whatever I can to take that belt off of him and put it back on Evander James where it belongs or anybody in House of Glory, Cashflow Ken Broadway would be another one. He's got a contract for any title shot at any singles title in House of Glory, I'm assuming over the next 12 months. It would be great to see Cashflow take that belt off him, if not Evander. But Sami Callihan will pay, man. Sami Callihan will pay. And hopefully the footage is released soon so you guys can see what I'm talking about. But apparently Sami Callihan is going and making a name for himself in this business at the behest of other people. I followed him from NXT to Lucha Underground. I don't watch Impact. Now you see why I don't watch Impact. It's not just Josh Matthews. But we'll see what happens, man. But thank you to everybody in House of Glory, man. I love each and every one of you, and I can't wait to continue to grow with everybody there, man. It's such an amazing promotion, and it's we're not even fucking at anywhere, man. We haven't hit anything yet. We are going above and beyond, and it's only going to get better. House of Glory seemed to be making waves in the world of professional wrestling, man. Within an hour of it being announced, Ryan Satin was reporting on it. PW Insider, WrestleZone, Bleacher Report. Enzo Amore makes his first non-WWE appearance. And it will be for House of Glory. That Friday, SummerSlam weekend. And he will be there for one night only. It was very depressing and very eye-rolling to see the amount of comments I've seen, not only on House of Glory's Facebook page, Instagram, Twitter. It was really just mind-blowing and mind-boggling to me. I can understand why people are upset, but they're upset for the wrong reasons. I honestly believe people are upset that Enzo is coming to House of Glory and they are giving him a platform that could have went to anybody. They're giving him a platform that could have went to anybody. I think people are upset for the sole reason that I think it's like the sheep following the one guy who's negative about everything, and then you got all the sheep just following behind. You know, one person's negative, and then all the little sheep on the internet and the YWC and in the internet wrestling community, they're going to follow suit right behind, you know? What is there to be negative about? What is there to be negative about? The guy was cleared from all charges of whatever he was accused from. WWE fired him because of reasons that we have no business in knowing. We can assume why WWE fired him. Maybe he didn't bring it to their attention. We don't know if he's lying or telling the truth. But they let him go, and it's within their right to let him go. And everybody's saying, oh, well, he was cleared of the charges. You think WWE's going to bring him back? They don't have to bring him back. The show will not prosper or get worse with or without Enzo there. In fact, in my honest opinion, you want my honest opinion because that's all I do here. If you bring Enzo back to the WWE, it is going to be negative. He adds nothing to the show. Absolutely nothing. It's bad enough we got Carmella on television on Tuesday nights. We don't need Enzo back on WWE TV. 205 Live was as worse as it's ever been with him there. He don't need to be in 205 Live. He don't need to be competing with the cruiserweights. 205 Live is a different direction. He adds nothing to Raw. He has nothing to SmackDown. He's not going to move the needle. It's only going to bring a negative stigma along with it. But he was cleared. For his own livelihood and his own happiness and his own career, he was cleared. Good. Good. Maybe we'll learn from this incident and don't assume and take the victim's side when she cries wolf and then automatically cast judgment on somebody without the full fucking facts or without the courts or the law getting involved. The guy was embarrassed, his career was ruined, and he was fucking fired, all based on one woman's word. And he ended up getting cleared and everything wiped away. Can we move on from it? He's not a rapist. He's not an animal. He's not a monster. He's a fucking man. He's a human being. And if he's smart, he would have learned his lesson. And from what I see, it looks like he's learned his lesson. He's doing what he's passionate about. Leave it at that. Do I think Enzo is a talented wrestler? Fuck no. I think he's terrible. Absolutely terrible. Was I a fan of Enzo and Big Cass? Yes. Were they mistreated? Absolutely. Should they have been given a run with the tag team championships? Yes. Should WWE have broken them up? No. Enzo was a product of bad booking. Enzo was a product of bad booking. I would have never broken those two guys up. Enzo suffered and Big Cass is suffering now, no matter if he's in a feud with Daniel Bryan or not. So why not give Enzo a platform at House of Glory? People are already saying, JD, I hope you roast this guy if he gets in the ring and wrestles a match. I got to see JD call an Enzo Amore match. And what if I have to call an Enzo Amore match? You think I'm going to go out there and fucking shit all over him? You got to be out of your fucking mind. I'm going to act like the most professional motherfucker that you've ever seen. I'm going to do what's best for the fucking business. I'm going to do what's best for the match. My personal feelings towards Enzo Amore in a professional wrestling ring on this podcast have no bearing on what happens when he's in the ring. I can be like Corey Graves and make some snide remarks to Shapiro, but that's about it. I'm not in the business to make anybody look bad. I love this fucking business. So for the people already telling me, JD, I hope you shit on him, no, it's not going to happen. My personal opinion of Enzo has absolutely nothing to do with my job doing commentary for House of Glory. Why is House of Glory employing Enzo for High Intensity 7? What did Eric Bischoff say? Controversy creates cash. If anything, if House of Glory doesn't have people come to the show because they're so disgusted with Enzo Amore, you better realize that House of Glory now has been talked about more so in the last 24 hours than they have all year. And in my eyes, that's a damn good fucking business move. Whether you fucking hate Enzo Amore or you're the biggest fan of that motherfucker on the face of this planet. So in my eyes, Brian XL, Amazing Red, they did exactly what I would have done tenfold. Of course I'm going to give Enzo a fucking spot on House of Glory High Intensity 7. Who the fuck wouldn't? He's a highly, highly talked about individual. The only thing I don't like about Enzo right now, wrestling skill aside, the only thing I don't like about Enzo Amore is the fact that the first thing that we seen in his first music video, Phoenix, or whatever it was called, not my cup of tea, but not my style of music either, but aside from that, you can't deny that the fucking dude is talented as a fucking motherfucker with words. Guy can spit words like no other, man. And that's a talent that not many people have. And I'm giving him props on that. But the only thing I don't like about Enzo is the fact that if he is there at High Intensity 7, and he will be, the one image that we seen in his first music video, the first ever image we seen was a fat, overweight slob with Dorito cheddar fingers reaching for the refrigerator, yelling at his mother upstairs. Ma, I'm watching wrestling! And he's got fucking a shirt that's like 4 sizes too small, and he's got his fucking gut hanging out, and he's a fat slob, armchair creative guy, right? Like, that's the image of professional wrestling fans nowadays to these pro guys. Everybody's an armchair booker. They all look like fat, overweight slobs who haven't seen a pair of tits or a treadmill in fucking a lifetime. You know? I take offense to that because I am not that. I love this business for many, 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 many different reasons. So the fact that we're stereotyped to look like that kind of irks the shit out of me. But again, Enzo might think that, he might not think that. Enzo might love professional wrestling. We don't fucking know. But you know why he put that in the video? Because it got people talking. If he thinks that way, I would say, bro, I don't like that. I don't think we should be stereotyping anybody, let alone wrestling fans. The majority of wrestling fans, I always say, are the dumbest fucking people walking the earth. The internet wrestling community, man, is a fucking cancer to the internet. They're all idiots. Every single one of them. Not me. But you guys get the point. Not you. listening to me. Well, most of you aren't. The haters that listen to me that wait for me to upload a video and immediately thumbs it down within 10 seconds of the video. Yeah, you. You're the dumbest fucks on the planet. This is a good business move. Why people are criticizing this is just, it's laughable. Laughable. That show is going to be a fucking sellout. You think Enzo is the end-all, be-all of that show? They've already announced the main event for that show at last night's show. A match that most of you have never seen. That match is the reason you should go to the show. Sami Callihan's going to be there. I'm going to be there. Who the fuck knows what's going to happen between him and I? You don't know who else they got planned for that show. I do. Enzo ain't the biggest one on that show. Enzo's at the forefront because they know he's the one guy that's going to be fucking talked about. And they did exactly what is best for the business. Within 1 hour, Ryan Satin had that shit all over his website. Kudos to House of Glory, man. You talk about great businessmen? Dude, you look no further than Brian XL and fucking Amazing Red, bro. You may love him, you may hate him. Good business? It's all that matters. It's all that matters. I can sit here and proclaim how WWE should be New Japan Pro Wrestling, and I honestly think that. WWE could make all the fucking money they want, like they're making now. But if they present themselves the way New Japan Pro Wrestling is doing now, I think everybody would be happy. They refuse to do so. They refuse to do so, but they're making money. WWE, Vince, Triple H, they know how to fucking run a business. They know how to maximize profit. House of Glory is doing the same thing. That show's going to be a sellout no matter what, bro. No matter what. Man, I'm going to get right into the news. I'm going to save the obligatory Twitter follow and subscribe and hit the bell. Harry's, Audible, Patreon, barbershop window. You guys know the deal. You guys know the deal. I only got 3 stories today, man. Outside the Corey Graves story, which was one big story in itself. The Enzo story, which was another big story in itself. I got 3 other stories, and then we'll save the minor stories for the week. And then we'll worry about next weekend. Takeover, preview and predictions for Chicago number 2. Money in the Bank, preview and predictions for that. Going to be a full weekend of wrestling content here on Off the Script for episode 226. And yes, I am going to watch Dominion or whatever I can of Dominion tonight. Okay? I'll give you something during the week. Be patient. Be patient, man. SmackDown Live. SmackDown Live is planning a major show next year for 2019. Monday Night Raw may be WWE's flagship show for now. But right now, SmackDown Live is clearly, I would say, no, not by much, is the better of the two. But in the early 2000s, when the company launched their SmackDown program, it certainly gave Raw a run for its money. Raw has been dominating the professional wrestling viewing experience for fans for decades, but now WWE decided to add yet another major wrestling show in SmackDown in 1999. Now, the show got its name from The Rock, clearly. He was a major part of the program, and that was when he was still a full-time talent. Since then, the program has presented fans with a ton of memorable moments. Stars such as John Cena, Eddie Guerrero, John Bradshaw, Layfield, Rey Mysterio, and many more grew into megastars on a weekly basis on SmackDown Live. While it may have taken the label of the B show in the past several years, there's no denying the rich history and impact the show has had on the WWE and the professional wrestling industry as a whole. Today, SmackDown is live every Tuesday on the USA Network, but just signed a $1 billion broadcasting deal to begin airing on Fox in 2019. This is a major milestone for not only SmackDown Live, but the WWE. The program also plays host to some of the biggest names in wrestling today, such as AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura, Charlotte Flair, Daniel Bryan, Samoa Joe, Randy Orton, just to name a few. WWE is headed into 20 years of SmackDown Live, come 2019, and a report from Mike Johnson of PW Insider says the company has plans to make the 20th anniversary show a big one. Johnson noted that the 20th anniversary SmackDown Live could very well be similar to the Raw 25 anniversary show, but that was done earlier this year, and it was met with huge negative criticism. If the WWE is going to do another anniversary show for SmackDown Live, please don't make it like they did for Monday Night Raw. That was pathetic. Utterly pathetic. If you want to build SmackDown Live up, have your guests, have some funny backstage skits, show some classic memorable moments, right? But make it a show that we're all proud of. Give me the best matches on that show, you know? Make it a huge pay-per-view-like show. Don't go the way we did Raw. That was terrible. Absolutely terrible, man. Still to this day, one of the worst Raws of the year. And somehow they got worse. But I would not do anything that resembles that Raw anniversary show at the Manhattan Center and the Barclays Center. That shit was terrible. Now, I know, he says, Mike Johnson, they are going to ramp up and do a big 20th year SmackDown celebration that's already on their books for next year. I wouldn't be surprised if they did a SmackDown like they did Raw with the 25th anniversary book. Raw 25 didn't receive the best reception, like I said, from wrestling fans and when it was all said and done, so it should be interesting to see if WWE takes things to the next level for SmackDown Live. I hope so. I certainly hope so, man. But like I said, again, I reiterate, they cannot make it like they did that Raw 25th anniversary show. That was utterly embarrassing, and you couldn't pay me all the money in the world to sit at that Manhattan Center and just sit there, man, and just sit in the nostalgia hype with nothing of substance. That's all it was. It was nothing but nostalgia. You paid, foolishly, to be there to get the vibe of what it was like back in 1993 with the siren going off. And you got nothing. You got an Undertaker appearance, with a 3-minute cryptic promo that went nowhere. You got the Ballet Club and DX, and a bunch of dark matches that we didn't see on televisions at home. You know, a bunch of cruiserweights. That's what I heard. That's worth your fucking money? God knows how much money you paid to be there. And you wonder why WWE doesn't change. Because you're suckers. You continue to pay for this shit. Anyway. Moving on here, man. To, instance in which I think we're all happy to be wrestling fans. New Japan Pro Wrestling. I haven't watched Dominion yet. I plan to watch Dominion or some of it. Some of what made it one of the best shows of the year. Jericho is one of those things that made it one of the best show of the year. How Vince McMahon truly feels about Chris Jericho wrestling for New Japan Pro Wrestling over WWE. Speaking with Busted Open Radio via Cage Side Seats, Jericho revealed Vince's true feelings about him wrestling with New Japan Pro Wrestling during his time off from WWE. He says Vince is still cool with it, but he might receive a phone call one of these days to stop. He said, I know the first match, Omega Jericho, I called him and told him about it, and he was all for it. And then I told him I was going to do more. Nothing really negative, still very supportive. But I think now it's maybe becoming a little bit of a slight not issue, but you know what I mean. It's another company out there. I know for a fact Vince takes every company very seriously. Oh, does he now? Does he now? That's why WWE is, I am sure, I am positive WWE is looking. They are waiting in the bushes like a fucking sniper in Call of Duty. They're waiting to pounce on Kenny Omega when his contract is up. He may be the IWGP Heavyweight Champion right now, but I don't think he holds that title past Wrestle Kingdom in January. He either loses it to the winner of the G1 Climax, which I am going with Kota Ibushi this year. I think it's wrestling 101. You know? Unless Okada wins it again, a fifth match. If I'm the All-In guys, if I'm Young Bucks and Cody Rhodes, I would love, being that I'm being there, I'd love to see Omega Okada 5 at All In. Get the rematch at All In. Who wouldn't love that? But I think Omega is going to retain the title. Whomever he defends the title, if he is defending the title against whomever at the All In. I think he goes on to the Wrestle Kingdom event and he loses it there. I'm going with Kota Ibushi to win the G1 Climax. It's just wrestling one-on-one, man. They teamed up, the Golden Lovers. Now they're the Golden Elite. I think something's going to happen there where Kota Ibushi is going to go one-on-one with Kenny Omega for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. That's just a feeling I get. So let me know what you guys think about that. But Jericho and Naito, some are saying that was better than Omega Okada because it had a more realistic feel to it. I'll be the judge of that. I'll get my own perception of it, and I'll let you guys know in a future video this week. But according to Jericho, Vince McMahon, still very supportive, but he's taking these companies very seriously. And I know for a fact Vince is taking New Japan, or has to at least. I mean, if he's a smart man at all, he's taking them seriously. If I'm Vince McMahon or Triple H or anybody with the paychecks over there, with the pen, with the open bank account, I'm giving Kenny Omega whatever the fuck he wants to bring him into WWE. You know, WWE's got all this money coming into them. If you're Kenny Omega and you're 35 years old, and WWE is throwing more money at you than you've ever seen in your entire life, it's very difficult to walk away from. Especially when you know deep down he wants WrestleMania. He wants a main event at WrestleMania. He wants AJ Styles, Daniel Bryan, Shinsuke Nakamura. He wants that level of opponent, Seth Rollins. He wants that level of opponent. Kenny Omega is the biggest professional wrestler in the world that is not signed to WWE. If he went to WWE, Kenny Omega will be the biggest wrestler in the entire world. And I stated this several times. That's your face right there. He's the man. Will he be the man? Will WWE give him the opportunity to be the man? I think at this point you have to. You have to. You're not going to bring Kenny Omega and you're not going to suppress Kenny Omega in the WWE. There would be a backlash unlike anything you've ever seen if Kenny Omega is treated anything unlike what fans have seen before. Can't do it. WWE needs to swallow that pill. They need to do the opposite of what they normally do with outside talent. He may not be groomed to be a WWE guy. He might not be a lifer, but there is life outside of WWE. They've proven that. Kenny Omega is, I mean, can anybody touch this guy right now? Absolutely not. And with the WWE behind him, Kenny Omega could be one of the biggest stars in the history of this sport if booked and cared for properly. But I think it's becoming a little bit more of a slight, not issue, but you know what I mean. Vince takes these other companies very seriously. Chris Jericho is a very important part of WWE and a very important part of what's going on with New Japan right now, with all the subscriptions that are increasing with New Japan World and all of that sort of thing. I still think everything's cool, but I feel like if my involvement with New Japan Pro Wrestling continues, I might get a call one of these days. Until then, I still enjoy doing it because it is different. And Jericho has more freedom, dropping F-bombs and cutting fucking promos. I wish we could see more regularly on television. And he's the IWGP Intercontinental Champion. You know? Who can say that they've done everything that Jericho has? Not many. Not many. You know? It's one of those things where Jericho basically does what Jericho wants because I've built up the reputation and built up that goodwill and credibility with fans and companies worldwide. Jericho's involvement in New Japan Pro Wrestling has been great for wrestling fans as he cemented his legacy as one of the greatest of all time with his performance in the ring. Enjoy it while it lasts, because Vince McMahon always gets his way. So I can't wait to see that match, man. I'm actually more excited from what people have said about the Naito-Jericho match than the Omega-Okada match. We'll see what happens, man, but I will be doing something, I promise, on Dominion. I'll talk about my thoughts on these matches, and I'll go over what I can. I'm not watching the whole show because I don't want to sit down for 6 hours. Don't really follow the product, but I will talk about the major happenings at the show in a video sometime this week. Finally, guys, we're going to end with this because this is really it, and there really is no other news. Speaking with the All In show, and on the All In show, I just got announced for Podcast Row. So if you guys are going to be there, I will be at Podcast Row. I don't know who I will be sitting next to. I will be there Friday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. So please come and say what's up. And I will have merchandise, apparently, from Pro Wrestling Tees. But keeping on the New Japan thing, All In. Final touches could indicate plans to broadcast the event. This is what people are talking about, man. Tickets selling out in 29 minutes. No way to see the show. This is too big of a show to miss. The biggest independent show of all time. All In is coming together nicely for everyone except Flip Gordon. After all, he lost a mixed tag team match, meaning Michael J. Feinstein, MJF, and Madison Rayne are all in, but Gordon is not. This news made Cody Rhodes pretty happy about Flip, and he was not amused, was Flip, about being kept out of the world's largest independent show in history. The event already sold out in less time than it takes to watch any Kenny Omega versus Okada match, especially their one at Dominion. In fact, the September 1st match event was sold out before Okada defeated Omega in the first fall of their epic Dominion confrontation. Selling out in a record time was a huge accomplishment, but now they just need to put the show together. Cody Rhodes said on Wrestling Observer Radio after the quick sellout that he had about 4 cards already in mind for the big show, or 4 matches rather. He also said that he had graphics on his phone ready to go out announcing more people who were all in. We've already seen some great additions like the all-star referees that will be at the show, but one recent announcement made fans very excited who couldn't get a ticket. The American Nightmare revealed in the same Wrestling Observer Radio interview with Meltzer and Alvarez that there could be some problems broadcasting the event. Although he said there are some people in mind if they decide to air the show on streaming service or pay-per-view, there could be an issue about electric lineup for the show. After all, guys like Penta and Phoenix have deals with different companies than Cody. The Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, Tessa Blanchard, and Okada. Some companies might have an issue with their talent appearing on a show that is broadcast live. I mean, Ring of Honor's helping out. New Japan's helping out. I think if you're an independent promotion, I think you let your guard down for the betterment and the sake of the wrestling industry. You know, if I'm a promoter who is paying Pentagon and Phoenix, do it, because it's helping them in the end anyway. Whoever Penta and Phoenix are working for, you know, whether it's Lucha Underground or whatever promotion they're working in, you know, the majority of their time, it's gonna help them. It's gonna get that promotion and that company out there because they're helping with All In. And I'm sure Cody isn't going to be, one to say, fuck you. He's going to give, a little piece to everybody for helping him out. It just makes sense business-wise. I don't know why that would even be an issue. But it looks like there might be some light at the end of the tunnel because Don Callis was just announced as the All-In announcer. His skills on Impact Wrestling provide an excellent addition to the show, painting a verbal picture of what is transpiring in the ring. Therefore, some fans are hopeful Callis and his inclusion for the event means it will air in some form. Only time will tell if All In will be available on pay-per-view, but it would really make a lot of fans happy who were unable to snag a ticket in the 30 minutes or so they were on sale and don't want to spring for 7 times the original amount on the secondary market. Brian Alvarez tweeted out on June 9th at 5 a.m., Young Bucks just hired Don Callis to do commentary for All In, so I guess that means it will be broadcast somewhere. I expect it to be. It's too big for it not to be. And you don't hire Don Callis to do commentary unless A, it's going to be aired live, or B, you're going to be filming for a possible DVD release. This will be in the hands of somebody who is not able to attend the show in some form. And that's a good thing. And it needs to be. So, if I'm these wrestling promotions and I have a problem with my talent appearing on another promotion's show, this isn't a promotion. This is a self-funded venture by Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks and the Elite. Let them do what they need to do. If you're helping out, then you're giving them talent, and I'm sure you're going to get some kickback from that as well, and you're going to get some promotion on the backside of it. I would do it. If I'm any of these guys employing these guys, I'd do it in a heartbeat. That's all I got, guys. I'm going to save everything else. I'm going to save my Dominion thoughts for this week. I'm going to give you guys off the script extra this week. I'm going to be working extra hard this week because it's going to be a big week. We got TakeOver Chicago. We got Money in the Bank. It's going to be a big week. I'll be here working for you guys around the clock. Raw, SmackDown, NXT, the usual. And that's all I got, guys. There really is no other events happening this weekend. It was the Punk fight. It was Dominion. It was the Corey Graves situation. That was it. House of Glory, Enzo. Those were the biggest stories. I feel like I did a good job covering it here. And if I did, please let me know what you think down below, man. Leave me a thumbs up. Thank you so much for all your support. Thank you to everybody again at House of Glory and for whomever came up to me after House of Glory was over to take a picture and shake my hand. I love each and every one of you. Thank you guys so much. Follow me on Twitter at JDFROMNY206. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications. Please support the podcast through my sponsors, Harry's, Audible, Barbershop Window. And if you guys want to support the podcast, patreon.com/JDFROMNY206. Man, I'll see you guys on Monday with something. I might have a little short off-the-script extra for you. And then Monday Night Raw, as always, tomorrow night. The go-home show for Money in the Bank. For some reason, we're getting Roman Reigns versus Jinder Mahal tomorrow night. Yeah, WWE, exactly what nobody wanted. A match we don't give a fuck about happening twice in the same week. I'll see you guys later.